This is Rock Leach with Social Fire, and in this video, we want to talk about, are gospel artists becoming pastors because they're celebrities already? Let's talk about it. Now, there are a lot of things that we have to look at when we look at this subject because there are a lot of gospel artists that became pastors, after the fact, after they were already gospel artists and all of a sudden God called them to pastor. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. This video was motivated by one of the comments that I had on the bottom of the video with the truth behind Warren Campbell's pastoral calling, A Family's Faith, where he did an interview, he and Erica Campbell. Now, y'all know Warren is gospel recording artist Erica Campbell's husband. And he's called a pastor, and he's pastoring. As far as I know, he's doing a great job. But somebody put in the comments down here that they said, this was from San Jose Rock 1, said, "This is sloppy." And I got all caps, "This is sloppy." Another musician claiming God called them to start a church, not to go get prepared or work under an already established church, but to do a new thing. You can't sing your way to heaven. Listen, if I didn't hear the old school in that, you can't sing your way to heaven. Felt all the way old school. I'm gonna go ahead and give a little church there because it just felt so old school. All right, but when that comment was made, the community itself kind of came after them because they said, "Who are you to say if he's called or not?" Then another one, "No preparation or consideration for such training at all." Another one, "Obviously you know nothing about nor are connected to the Holy Spirit." Wow. How do you know what God spoke to this man? At least he's preaching, teaching, and leading lost souls to Christ. I agree. I actually agree, and I thought it was a good conversation. Some people do feel like that when gospel artists will become pastors. Now, this is something that is not new because you have it happen all the time. Gospel artists have become pastors, and I just did some research just to take a look. I mean, you've got Bishop Marvin Winans at Perfecting Church in Detroit. You've got Bishop William Murphy, the Dream Center Church in Atlanta. You've got, I believe, Bishop Jason Nelson. I apologize if he's not a bishop, but I believe he is, at Greater Bethlehem Temple Church in Milford Mill. You've got Dietrich Haddon in Hill City. Most of us know Dietrich Haddon because of the Preachers of L.A., but his church is in Hill City Church in Los Angeles. We've got Travis Green, Forward City Church in Columbus, South Carolina. We've got Kim Burrell. We all know Kim Burrell. Love and Liberty Fellowship Church International in Houston. You got Charles Jenkins, and I think he's an emeritus status now, but Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church in Chicago, because he's an artist as well. Got Bishop Marvin Sapp, the Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Got Smokey Norfolk Victory Cathedral Worship Center in Chicago. You've got William McDowell in Deeper Fellowship Church in Orlando, Florida. You got the great woman of God herself, beans, greens, tomatoes, you name it. We got Shirley Caesar, pastor at Mount Calvary Word of Faith Church in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, listen, I only brought this up because this is a list of artists who became pastors. Now, many people will say they didn't take the traditional route. Now, I won't paint with a broad brush and say they didn't take the traditional route because I don't know what their route is, but I think there's an assumption many times when an artist becomes a pastor that they did it because they had already gotten themselves up as far as people knowing them, and then they just jumped over there into pastoring. And many times people will come because you're known. Now, when I started pastoring, I did serve up under my pastor, served under him, was licensed there, started out Church of God in Christ for those that did not know that. But I sat up under my pastor. And when I started pastoring, which was over 20 years ago, when I started pastoring, I actually started with 5 people, and I think one of them was nodding off on me. That's my story. You have 5 people, and one of them was asleep. That's a real story for me. And so I had to preach in those circumstances. I've preached in front of thousands, but I definitely I never forget where I come from, preaching in front of that group. And this is why, for me, preaching has never moved based on an audience or a crowd. But I did understand to a degree what was said in the comments. So it motivated me to do this video about gospel artists and them being pastors. Now, I asked ChatGPT, y'all gonna have to bear with me. I went to Reverend ChatGPT and said, Reverend ChatGPT, what do you think about gospel artists becoming pastors? And the Reverend ChatGPT came back to me and said, it gave me a list, and it's a really good list, and I want y'all to hear this. These are the problems that ChatGPT said that gospel artists can have becoming pastors. Number one, lack of theological training. Big one. Actually was one I was thinking of myself, and it said many gospel artists may not have had formal theological education or pastoral training, which could impact their ability to effectively lead a congregation in matters of doctrine, pastoral care, and spiritual guidance. I agree. So all those gospel artists out there that's thinking about it, want to talk about it, hit me at that line there, the hotline, 844-762-1537, extension 1. I'll be glad to talk to you. All right. We have this too. Number 2, focus on performance over pastoral duties. Come on, ChatGPT. Some gospel artists may prioritize their music careers over the responsibility of pastoral ministry, leading to neglect of pastoral duties such as counseling, visitation, and discipleship. Yo, that is very real. That's very real. Chad, listen, I got to give you some. Let's go on back ChatGPT up. Come on, ChatGPT. All right, number 3, conflict of interest. And it says there can be conflicts of interest when gospel artists serve as pastors, especially if they are financially dependent on their music careers. Wow. This could potentially influence their preaching to decision making and allocation of church resources. Wow, I hadn't even thought about that, but if your main bread and butter is being out there on the road and singing to people, that could have a big effect on the church. It could, especially in the mode of finances, financially, because if you're always gone, I believe that's all said. Come on, ChatGPT, you're doing good. All right. Let's keep going. All right, number 4, celebrity culture. I think this is a big one, and this was something that I alluded to earlier. Celebrity culture. Gospel artists who become pastors may bring with them a celebrity culture that could overshadow the message of humility and servanthood central to Christian ministry. This can create an unhealthy focus on personality rather than on gospel itself. I absolutely agree. Let's keep going. This is getting good. Last one here is number 5, unrealistic expectations. Congregants may have unrealistic expectations of gospel artists turned pastors, expecting them to perform at the same level as they did in their music careers, or to have all the answers to spiritual questions, which can lead to disappointment and disillusionment. Listen, I think that this is very good here because ChatGPT just broke this down on 5, which is lack of theological training. Number 2, focus on performance over pastoral duties. Number 3, conflict of interest. Number 4, celebrity culture. And number 5, unrealistic expectations. I do agree with that last one because when a gospel artist, especially a successful gospel artist, becomes a pastor, you get all the people who want to be artists will come and be a member of that church. Let me be on the praise team. And they're looking for a record deal or something like that. That's something that I never had that problem because you come to my church, you're not looking for no record deal because I'm just saying I stay in my lane. And I do want to make reference to that because I said staying in my lane. I was a musician for years, and God blessed me to be a musician and stay pretty relevant. So most of the people that are our church who are musicians, I actually had a hand in their training. Most of the musicians that as we've gone on, because I have a strong music background as far as organ and piano and, just musically. And so I understand when the draw is there because people are going to go where there's a connection, a similarity, something that they can connect to. But some people only are going to come for the come up. And I saw that in one of Bishop Marvin Winans, and we did a video on that where he talked about somebody said God sent them to his church to be a help. And they was really just looking for something. They had another agenda. And I encourage you to go back and watch that video. But I want to know what you think about gospel artists becoming pastors. What do you think about it? Is it important for them to go and have the theological training? Can it be a conflict of interest? Can they be in the celebrity culture? And people around them are in the celebrity culture. People who want to be known will try to connect themselves with them or, have agendas. What are your thoughts about it? Jump down in the comment section and let's talk about it. Let's go.